Hello, my internet fans. It's me, Statboy Mike, and I would like to welcome you to this week's installment of Throwback Thursday. The Casa D18 Studios Channel continues to sort through the archives of the Jeff Meacham Network, the Simple Man brand, JH95 FTW, NoDQ.com, and the Casa Channel in order to bring you classic content that you may not have seen in a long time, if ever. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's Throwback Thursdays offering. I love you all. Statboy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
JJ, Jeff, you want to kick this thing off? Because I'm still trying to process everything here.
Yeah, it's like,
Who wants to go
okay.
first?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
Well,
Come on in. It's open mic night with your host,
you could maybe say there's really 4 topics, but it's split into 6.
the Renegade, JJ Williams.
The Sammy and Eddie Kingston thing, which one's the better smelling turd?
And his panel of co-hosts,
I am the founder. We'll call me that for today since we're going with the Jeff Jarrett love theme here this week, according to JJ.
the West Coast Professor, Jeff Meacham.
Karma is karma is karma.
That's professional wrestling! Damn it!
The Simple Man, Noah Foster.
It's showtime! Yeah! How you doing, JJ? How you doing, Jeff?
James.
Yeah.
And the He-Man, James Hebert.
Imagine Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, Paul White, the Baldies. There you go. It sells
Oh,
itself.
God.
Get in there.
Short his ass and shit the bed.
He's not Amber Heard.
Give it time, JJ. Give it time.
Now, I'm sure Jeff has some stuff that
Dumb move. Just don't pull this bullshit again. You get one.
Tony needs to stop caring about the ratings.
Bradshaw said as long as the ads are in place, we're not going to lose that third hour.
Ring of Honor does not have to be AEW light. They don't necessarily have to coexist with each other. We kind of saw that tonight to a degree.
Along with a panel of guests.
He is no longer glorious. Don't you bring that up. You want me to rant about what my NXT used to... No, we are done here for the night. I swear, James.
Because you never know who may show up for open mic night.
I leave our company in the capable hands of an extraordinary group of superstars, employees, and executives.
The first thing that came to my mind was, it's about damn time.
Amen!
I literally touched everybody in the state's trash. So it's horrible, you guys.
Peyton's new thing is Dennis the Menace, but it's funny because she calls it Dentist the Medicine. And
That's great.
When Elliot Taylor came out and did Born for Greatness live, I was popping my pussy, having a great time. I didn't care. I was having so much fun.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Fuck Bill Belichick.
Football thing. We got it on wrestling, and then you bring in that shit. That's just how the fan goes off the damn rails. Brilliant, bloody brilliant.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Open Mic Night. I know we're a little later than usual on a PLE day, but they were earlier than damn usual on PLE day, so they can kiss my ass on the late start. I don't give a shit today. Anyway, I am, for the last time on a live Saturday anyway, the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham. Joining me, of course, the simple man with the spectacular voice, the man who called all the action right down the middle as he do, Daddy, on earlier today, Clash of the Castle of Noah Foster, and the man, the myth, the moderator himself, the Renegade, JJ Williams. Gentlemen, it is already September. Usually we say wake me up when September ends, but I think September's going to be too good to just let creep by without at least acknowledging how awesome it's going to be. Am I right?
Damn right you are. With Victory Road still ahead, shout out to Dotia in the chat. Open Mind as the forum where we talk all things wrestling. Shout out to the family on Twitter, particularly topics with JJ. And we look forward to what's ahead. Hello, everybody across the multiverse of media. So with Victory Road, that's ahead. Extreme Rules, that's next month. New Japan Pro Wrestling going closer and closer to Royal Quest and their upcoming pay-per-view to define the IWGP Women's World Championship down the line. There's so much to look forward to in all things wrestling. And we still have to go through AEW All Out, literally less than 24 hours. I could not be more excited for what's ahead in the wrestling industry as a whole.
Not to mention not your NXT/NXT UK Worlds Collide prior to that tomorrow. No, we got a double feature.
I'm not going to lie, JJ. I feel like you and I are going to become both play-by-play and color commentator because I'm damn sure going to be representing my NXT UK. But I am, with all due respect, looking forward to the show. It literally looks like a takeover type feel, to say the least. I'm actually very engaged.
You know, I was wondering, and me and Jeff talked about this a little bit last week when we did Ask the Dads. We were talking about how they had to come up with something spectacular on Tuesday to make me give a shit.
Right.
Because prior to this past week's show, there were 2 matches.
Yeah.
Right.
And did they make me care?
I don't think so.
Not necessarily even with all the
they did now.
matches that they announced, but just the fact of your NXT stars that have been called up to the main roster coming back, providing that little bit of inspiration.
Exactly.
You know, that really hit with me. I was like, man, okay, they're really trying to make this a big deal. And I honestly believe that is something that would not have happened in the McMahon ran WWE, that this is very much a Paul Levesque move, considering that was his black and gold NXT. That was your NXT.
And the black and red NXT UK, the era has finally ended. Who knows what 2023 is going to be? But for now, NXT UK, it is over, to say the least.
And it went out with a pretty big bang. Thursday was actually a pretty good show. I haven't watched it a long time. What I saw was pretty good.
The 4-way between Isla Dawn, Bill Davenport, Mel, I wish her all the best, and Eliza Alexander. What a physical war she brought. That was definitely a wild card, that match. And then, again, a match literally 5 years, making 12 years based on their career and friendship. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, Mustache Mountain, Big Strong Boy, British Strong Style. Tremendous affair that culminated with Tyler Bate becoming a 2-time NXT UK champion. And again, I'll say it once, I'll say it here. If this NXT, according to the logo, is a clean, blank, white canvas, a new slate, then you need the strongest possible factors leading it forward and grooming it. So again, it's going to be interesting how me and JJ call this show non-biased to a degree and still professionally, to say the least.
Absolutely. I am looking forward to it. And, you know, I lean on you a little bit anyways to get me through this because I'm still finding my comfort zone. But these NXT UK guys, I know Jack Diddley Squad did, zip about. If I'm being 100% honest about it, like I'm looking at this, and the only people that I even have a little bit of knowledge about are Jensen and Briggs and Pretty Deadly, who only recently have come over to the main NXT 2.0 side of things.
Yes.
So I'm a little bit familiar with them, but everybody else is totally not on my radar.
Oh, I'm going to educate the hell out of you.
Like, just to put in perspective, I was watching one of the newer Beavis and Butthead episodes on Paramount Plus before coming into the chat room.
Right.
There was an episode with like an alien Beavis and Butthead, Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead. And they were looking down on Earth in the future and looking at like the older versions of themselves.
Oh boy.
But anyways, the end of the episode was them trying to get their spaceship to go through a portal to get back to their own time. And they keep missing the mark and like crashing into other little areas. Like that is my knowledge of NXT UK. Like, wait, there, I got it. No, that's not it. Wait, there it is. No, that's not it.
I joke, I kid. I fuck up again.
I kid. Like I said, JJ, I'm going to educate the hell out of you, and we will see if your NXT can surpass what was my NXT across the pond and here and beyond soon enough.
Yeah, yes. And we will get in depth into all those matches tomorrow pre-show. Go ahead and throw that graphic up again. I know we'll throw it up again when we do the plugs.
Lord
Jeff.
Help my voice.
Right?
Yes, 12 o'clock noon West Coast time. That is 3 o'clock Eastern time for all you kiddies over there on the other side of the U.S.
Reach the other side. Good to continue.
But so it's gonna be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. And then of course All Out immediately following. Noah will probably have no voice by the time he is done. See if you can
sleep or voice.
Maybe on your way to or from church tomorrow, you can stop and pick you up some throat lozenges to suck on.
Seriously.
keep the passages flowing and open there, sir.
No kidding.
I got plenty of water, including a water right here, so I think I'll be okay. My voice, as you see, still is going, and I've been going nonstop all day, from working with Jeff Meacham earlier to recording AEW All Out premium predictions and recap review for Rampage for the Daily Slam. I'm Mr. Nonstop for this week.
Yeah, for real.
He is the real Mr. No Days Off. The hell with you, Fred. Anyway.
I like Fred.
I love Fred. I do, but I prefer Uncle Fred more than I do Fred, so it's all good.
I liked him when he was Darren Young, or as we like to call him around the Casa, Black John Cena. If you know, you know. Look at the face. Tell me he didn't look like John Cena.
Dragon Ball Cena. Dun, 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 dun.
But ever since
I can't argue.
But ever since he made it onto the Indies and he evolved into this next level of his own self,
yes.
I've been 100% behind him. And I met him in Pomona when he did a gig with Gino Rivera, a good friend of ours.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
He's just a cool cat.
He is. We love us. We love us. I joke. I love Fred. I do. I always have. It's,
and Gino posted he's going to be doing a show out here soon, so we're going to have to find out the who, what, when, and where, and go and support our boy.
Make sure you be there. Be there. Be there. Be there.
Yes. It's one of those. There's still a lot going on, even though I'm kind of stepping back from the live stuff. Much like, although we did, Jen and I talked about, the live stuff doesn't have to cease just yet because the Mondays are still open for now, but we definitely have something booked for this coming Thursday, and I did that at the theater today before we get into the topics of the day. So, saw Jaws for the first time ever today, much to my complete fright. And I realized now as I post that graphic that my ticket barcode's there, so I'm not going to have that to go up anymore. I just realized I botched that really bad, so there's the first one. Thank you, Darren. So, saw Jaws for the first time, and I can do without seeing that one again, especially on an IMAX screen. I'm kind of good on seeing disembodied heads and legs, and I'm good on that. We're good. I like the water as it is.
Good deal.
But in the process of going over to our giant screen theater here in town, I was reminded that the 40th anniversary of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, the best of the original series cast movies for my money, is 40th anniversary is this year. So they're showing it tomorrow, and I think even today, and Monday, Labor Day, but also this coming Thursday, which is the actual anniversary of the original Star Trek series premiere. So Thursday night, I ain't going to be reachable after 7 p.m. local time because I'll be in the theater. And then the poster you saw briefly at the end of that little three-tier thing was Halloween Ends. Posters are officially in theaters. Yes. The end is nigh. And we will have a full Renegades Reviews episode for that show
on Halloween.
So that's right. So when Halloween ends, tune in the Renegade. There you go. Tell you, man. Even if they throw a ton of money at everybody but Jamie Lee and they do another one, I am looking forward to seeing how this shit lays out on October 14th. I am looking forward to it. I'll be in the theater that night. It'll be good shit.
Good deal.
It really is one of those things that just needs to be put out to pasture at this point.
But you know what? It's funny. We ran the trailer for both September and October for you. It had died such an agonizing and polarizing death after Rob Zombie got his hands on it. So, Blumhouse bringing Jamie Lee back, bringing John Carpenter back, which only was done for H2O because Jamie Lee was pushing for it. But then John's son is involved in the soundtrack production now, so it really has become a family affair again, just like it was in '78 with John's partner Deborah Hill writing the movie and everything that kind of went into it. And I love, by the way, that your trailer for it features a wonderful, lighthearted haha scene with Jamie Lee and PJ and who the hell? What the hell is Annie's real name? Nancy. But the rest of it is kills that people that, except for that nurse, just deserve the shit out of it. Every last one of those people deserved a brutal kill.
You know what? I had to get the totally scene in there.
Well, you have to.
I totally had to.
Totally had to. And, hopefully PG will be out here again for parents down the Sugarman or somewhere nearby, because I got to give her some love one more time before it actually does end, if it actually does end. Anyway, we are off topic.
If. Well, I mean, it would happen.
It's open mic night.
There is no veering off the path. That's right.
And to be honest, and to be honest, we've only got a couple set topics anyway, so this could either be the quickest show ever, or we can just bullshit all night.
Yeah, that's
kind of depends on Noah.
So it's all good for me. I will say this, with permission, because I don't know if JJ got a chance to see this yet or not. Noah, you saw it during the Premium Live event today. There was a response, JJ, after the ungodly, unconscionable assault on our friend, the Scrap Daddy, as a WWE official. Adam put a response up. I don't know if you follow Adam on social media or you keep up with his social on regular.
I do follow him, but I wasn't able to look around it too much with work and whatnot.
He put out an official statement after what happened last night on SmackDown.
He made it official?
It was official. It was an official statement. Is what it's actually called.
It was officially official.
It was officially official from that WWE official Adam Pearson. I, for one, Noah, I think you'll agree. I, for one, feel it's worth showing again because it needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Just
go for it.
Y'all know me, still the same OG, but I've been low-key. Hated on by most of these with no cheese, no deals and no G's. No wheels and no keys. No boats, no snowmobiles and no skis. Mad at me because I can finally afford to provide my family with groceries. Got a crib with a studio and it's all full of tracks. To add to the wall full of plaques. Hanging up in the office and back of my house like trophies. Did y'all think I'm gonna let my dough freeze? Please, you better bow down on both knees. Who you think taught you to smoke trees? Who you think brought you the oldies? Easy E's, Ice Cubes, and DOCs. The Snoop D double G's, and the group that said, the police. Gave you a tape full of dope beats to bump when you stroll through in your hood. And when your album sales weren't doing too good, who's the doctor that told you to go see? Y'all better listen up closely. Oh yeah, that said that I turned pop, or the firm flopped. Y'all are the reason that Dre ain't getting no sleep. So, y'all, all y'all, if you don't like me, y'all gonna keep around with me and turn me back to the old me. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips, just a bunch of gibberish and act like they forgot about Dre. And in closing, so what do you say to somebody you hate? Or anyone trying to bring trouble your way? Want to resolve things in a bloodier way? Study a tape of NWA.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
He broke James. He freaking broke James. My God.
James legit broke on the air. Like, we had to rein him in during the freaking Liv and Shayna match. I played that video before Liv's match because I knew it was going to be about Ronda. Or so we were led to believe. I knew what was going in. Oh, my God, dude.
Oh, my gosh. That was so funny.
I just love that
I'm
we
sorry.
took a promo from Adam last night about, and we see that glimmer of the temperamental stepdaddy, Scrap Stepdaddy. Wow. Went way too far back there. Scrap Daddy.
There you go.
And then the last thing he says is study tape NWA. It's like,
I'm just going to say this. Word.
Right. Yeah, I love that he's turned his social media into just freaking deadpan. Like, I love that he's done this. It's so tremendous. And Adam,
gosh,
I sent it to you on chat privately during the show. Ironically, he actually messaged me back during the show. God bless you, Adam Pierce. I love you, man. I miss the shit out of you. Okay,
that was good. That was really good. At first, it started, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" And then he kept going, and I was like, "Oh my God.
Word
Right
for word.
You could probably
Verbatim.
see me in the
Verbatim.
bottom there. I was sitting here like rapping along with them because I know all the words too. I'm like,
Oh yeah, we all do at
shit.
this point. Shit, that was tremendous.
Oh,
Yes,
Okay.
that was good.
That was good. I don't give
All
that.
right.
That was
Actually,
so
I'm gonna
good.
take this ticker down because JJ's first topic, as we tend to do when we have the information on hand, which we do immediately today, which I think is wonderful.
Well,
we have
it's immediate because you figure the time gap in between show to live.
Right.
Usually, PLEs go 5 to 8 and it's not released until later that evening or the next day.
Right.
But I actually have the producers list for the show tonight.
Yes. I did not
as
factor
we're
in the-
live on the air, so I figure we'll give our props to them and we can go through and kind of talk a little about what we thought about the show.
Yes. Now,
Great.
let me just say,
I told Jeff backstage, before we came on, I actually had my shift cut today.
Yes.
So I was able to get home with enough time to watch the PLE prior to coming into the studio to do this. So I am fully equipped to discuss this. The only thing I didn't see was the pre-show kickoff match. And aside from the fact, like Jeff said, that it meant that Austin Theory was in the house with the briefcase,
right?
Did that match really mean anything?
No. And the fact that the Street Profits and Madcap won was kind of like, okay, well, that's not a surprise. It's a
Madcap was being a part that was even more confusing. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it should have been like Gargano.
Thank you.
Right. So as we go into officially,
and I would have officially picked the Street Profits anyway if that had
The
been a
same.
legit match thing. So that's just one more to add to my roster for today.
So as we go into the official start of the topics of the show, first of all, let me just say I didn't anticipate how much funny that was with alcohol in my system. That was goddamn wonderful. Thank you, Pierce. Anyway,
I probably should rewatch it once I have my shot. I have my shot of Fireball poured and sitting here to the side for when it's needed.
Yeah,
I keep a shot glass in the freezer now,
Attaboy.
so that it can be nice and icy cold along with my Fireball.
I dig it. Nice. So, Bosch counts at 2 already because Jeff can't bother, can't do anything right. And F-Bomb counts at 0. And James being absent, just saying, we actually could get through it. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know. I may feel like I have to throw a couple extras in there just to make up for his absence,
We watched that video again. I'm going to be throwing F-bombs in a happy way left and right here in a few minutes.
Who says an F-bomb has to be all out in anger?
Oh, no, it doesn't have to be. Shoot! We were up to 4 on the count, halfway through the show, and James was as giddy as a freaking dicky bird. So whatever.
Exactly.
Right. So, who are the producers of the kickoff match? We'll go ahead and get that out of the way.
The kickoff match I don't have, but I have the 6 main cards.
Okay, well that works too. So let me go ahead and load that first graphic in. If the freaking thing will let me copy, there we go. What a concept! Actually, wait.
Be cooperative at once. Who would have freaking
God
thought?
forbid. All right. So the first match we actually saw on the PLE was a 6-woman
tag.
Oop, Bueller. There we go. Come on, you can do it.
You got it.
Okay, I'm the one drinking, not you, computer. Come on, you gotta work with me just a smidge here, just a smidge.
Bop ring.
There it goes.
There we
First
go.
match we had on the show itself, the full-on pre-live event was, of course, the 6-woman tag team showcase featuring the Raw Women's Champion along with her partners Alexa Bliss and Asuka, taking on the officially named Damage Control with new music, Neutron, and all that jazz.
Yes.
JJ.
P.D. Williams was the producer of this match.
Not a surprise at all. Great match.
No.
And if it wouldn't have been TJ, I'm not surprised that it was indeed PD because he's the. It seems to me that PD's been the second most prominent women's producer, which I find again
pretty much.
And again, we were talking during the course of the week about Tony Khan's lack of female producers or female input on anything. It seems like, but WWE over here seems to have a pretty good hang on it, and they don't have necessarily have the women producing it. So, where do you draw that line, I guess?
My biggest surprise about this match was the fact that it was the curtain jerker. I mean, yes, there was the pre-show match, but as far as like the main live card, it shocked me that this was the curtain jerk.
Well, We
I
talked about
figured, and I was talking with Cece, like I would have started either with Walter versus Sheamus,
Oh my god,
or with Judgment Day versus Edge and Mysterio.
well,
that match, that freaking
perhaps, but think about it this way: you were actually surprised I made that the curtain jerker on the preview, as far as the Intercontinental match goes.
There you go.
So I was glad they didn't. And as far as the Judgment Day match, which we'll get to, as far as getting your thoughts on it, because we were over it on the show, but the fact that had such a major angle development, had that curtain jerk.
Well, no, I mean, I was unaware of the development when I made the statement. So,
right. Oh, okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like you should have started with the title match and ended with the title match. And that Walter and Sheamus were just going to throw down and have a knockdown fight, which they did. We'll get to that next because that was the second match.
Yes.
I just felt that was a good way to start. Would have been a good way to start the night hot. Nothing against the ladies, but I don't feel like they were as smooth in the ring.
Well, one half of them were at least, but yeah, I do see what you're saying.
So, but all in all, this was a good match. Like I said, Petey Williams, the Canadian Destroyer, my brother from a Canadian mother,
right,
producer of this match.
As he should be, damn it.
But you digress.
Buy the shirt.
Oh God, buy the shirt, please, because I don't know when Disney's going to kick in. I have no idea when it's going to happen, so please help. Okay, next match was
Walter and Sheamus.
Yes,
my match of the night. What a fight!
Yes,
so damn happy.
Now let me ask you this: you had the Brawling Brutes versus Walter. Who do you think was the producer of this match, knowing who the match producers are?
I would guess Finlay if he's still producer.
You both would be wrong.
Oh.
Abyss.
Oh, wow. Joseph Park.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I can see Chris Park's handprint on this.
I mean, it was a monster physical war, to say the least.
Yeah.
And let me just say, when the match started and Giovanni Vinci got introduced for the Imperium reunion,
thank God,
I popped so hard.
Hell yeah, so did we.
I popped so hard, even though that is not my NXT because I didn't watch back then.
Yeah,
I knew enough and had done enough of my homework
to
know what was happening.
Right.
So I popped big time. I was like, oh shit, Imperium is together, if even for one night only.
Imperium is forever.
That's right. All right.
That was so cool. And the match was good. And it was so perfect because it was going to be a 2-on-3.
Yep.
Exactly.
What better way to even out the odds than to bring that third member of Imperium back in the UK?
It's very true.
And also, of course, they were just brawling on the outside while the two men that this really was about just stared at each other eye to eye, letting the chaos just fly until finally there was some sort of control and they were all pushed to the back, went down the two men, and those two just went to war against each other. That's what it means to be Intercontinental Champion.
Yes.
That was absolutely phenomenal. Incredible.
And from a film perspective, amazing storytelling and cinematography.
Oh, yeah.
Just that shot and how it never wavered on the two of them eye to eye, but you could see everything, every angle they cut to show the brawling on the outside. You still saw the two of them eye to eye, face to face, not moving.
That's exactly right.
Beautiful.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Absolutely.
Beautiful. That's some good shit, pal.
That's professional wrestling, damn it.
That's right.
Buy the t-shirt.
Yes. The next one was the SmackDown match, women's match, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm trying to keep track of my
Which
here.
Let me just go ahead and say right now that CC is beyond upset that Liv did not get crippled and wheeled out on a stretcher.
For a moment. Don't doubt it for a moment.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, though. It looked like for moments that was going to happen, but Liv impressed the hell out of me and showed me why she is the champion. That was phenomenal effort.
I agree.
This is a name that surprises me because I did not know he was a producer. Jason Jordan produced this match.
Really? Jason
He's
Jordan?
a recent addition to that roster. That's why you didn't know. Very recent, actually. So doesn't surprise me.
I'm impressed. Very impressed.
Good on him, though. It's one of those. His career unfortunately cut short. Injuries and all that jazz. So
all that nonsense.
Yeah, you have to. But it was clear the talent was there. It was clear the know-how was there with the kid. It counts to me. I'm such a freaking old fart. It was clear that there was something there with him that they needed to, harness and keep around. So producer, why not? And
I mean, this match was okay. This was one of the low points of the show for me. I mean, the women in general have done so good since the revolution began. This felt like a bathroom break match.
I feel it comes down to
this felt like a match of the old, where it was like, you want Shayna to win, but she's not. They're not going to take the belt off of Liv this soon.
No, right. But the way I see it, JJ, I feel it comes down to that presentation, that perspective. Again, Shayna Baszler's not your regular sports entertainer. She went back to those original roots, MMA fighter. It was a slower, more methodical approach where we saw Liv Morgan fight from underneath. For me, this match came down to Shayna Baszler looking absolutely like the most dominant, dangerous force right now in the WWE. But Liv Morgan trying to overcome that to some sort of degree. And Liv Morgan did it purely on wrestling, even trying to fight her game, the mat game, which I respect as a fan in the discipline of technical wrestling. So I feel it comes down to the approach that you're used to. Because Shayna Baszler does not wrestle like everybody else in the WWE. She's a standout. I thoroughly enjoy this. This reminded me of my Shayna Baszler, the absolute badass killer that literally is willing to do anything. And she just came up slightly short to the Oblivion and a roll-up. And both women got worked over here. Both got a bad arm at least. This was actually a good stuff. This exceeded my expectations more than what I thought that match was going to be when it came to Liv Morgan in desperation. She actually showed me quite a lot.
Yeah. And you mentioned this was an okay match. And I said during the show, because it was discussed rather prominently as far as the placement and everything, if this was the weak match, I think we're okay for today.
I agree.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I am curious to see where this goes.
Yeah,
Extreme Rules is around the corner.
Right.
You've got Shayna, you've got Ronda, and then you've got the champ. And that's the way I would book it. I would book it in a triple threat and see if Liv could defend against arguably her two most dangerous rivals.
And not only that, but can Ronda and Shayna find a way to put aside the little petty squabble bullshit they've been dealing with and neutralize Liv and then just tear into each other?
About to say, do Liv and do Shayna and Ronda want to destroy each other, or do they want to come together and destroy everybody else?
I think Shayna feels she has something to prove because she was in the company long before Ronda even entertained the idea of showing up.
It was Shayna Baszler that encouraged Ronda Rousey to show up. If it wasn't for Shayna Baszler, you wouldn't have Ronda Rousey in the WWE.
And it's very much a case of, Shayna was pushed to the back as a result of Ronda showing up. That's got to rent space in Shayna's head. And renting space in anybody's head is never a good thing. No. Renting space in the head of a killer, probably a dangerous way to live.
Yeah, probably. To say the least, probably.
Then we had, I don't know why that did that. Piece of dog shit.
Yeah.
There it goes. All right. This one, I'm curious who the producer was, and I'm very curious on JJ's reaction to the finish of the match and the aftermath.
Yeah.
Well, producer of this match was Jamie by God Noble Boy.
Does not surprise me in the slightest, man.
That's the one guy I would not have thought of.
Really?
Yeah, because I figure like producers, and I'm like, this match just felt a little bit, odd. It really felt odd because I wasn't sure necessarily how Dominic and Rhea Ripley would come into play, and I was figuring about the ways that I could see the match going, but what I could also see happening afterwards, and I was wrong on both fronts. So maybe that's why I didn't expect Jamie producing this. Either way, interesting stuff.
I
Yeah.
feel like if Tyson wasn't going to be the producer of a women's match, this would have been perfect with his tag team history. You know,
I would have said Tyson Kidd if I was
storytelling.
honest with you. Yeah, that's all I was thinking.
You know, the heel turn at the end.
Yeah. So Edge and Mysterio get the match victory, but the Judgment Day achieve their goal.
So it seems. I mean, they were ecstatic, but then again, they also thrive in seeing chaos happen before them. So, I mean, was this the intention they were looking for, trying to bring out, or is this just like a consolation prize to the fact, okay, we're here, you fought, you still lost the match, but you still carry out your sense of judgment to a degree?
They seem pretty ecstatic to me. So,
yeah, no kidding.
What do you think, Jay?
At the end of the day, they appear to have gotten stronger. They get another member.
Well,
you know, we've been waiting for this heel turn from Dominic forever. It seems like we've talked about this on multiple open mic nights.
This is true.
Generally post PLE, you know, when are they going to pull this trigger?
Right.
And it looks like they've finally pulled the trigger. I'm curious to see what happens on Raw.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I feel like that's going to be the ultimate, you know, kind of like how they set it up on commentary. Was this just a frustration thing out of Dominic?
Right.
Or is this a full-on heel turn? And if they backpedal and make it just a frustration thing, I'm going to be pissed.
Agreed.
They just need to go for broke with it, even if it fails.
Yeah,
they need to commit to it. Just
you got
like
the clothes on the fire, you can't go backwards now. Just go with
exactly.
it. Just all for broke.
Just like when Randy turned face in 2004, and everyone was like, "We don't really want you face." RKO Stacy Keibler turned back heel.
Okay, but
just like when Austin turned heel and joined McMahon in 2001.
That was a bad move.
If this ends up being a bad decision,
right?
A couple months down the road, Royal Rumble maybe, they can always retcon it, have Dominic come out, help his dad, everything fine, embrace in the middle of the Rumble, forget everything that happened.
Let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What my big takeaway from this match was, and it was prior to the match beginning.
Okay.
AEW can keep fucking Judas. We had the whole crowd singing Metalingus.
Right? Both teams.
Well, again, how big of a milestone this was for the UK, especially when you think about, again, they go back to last time there was something big like this. You talk about SummerSlam 1992 for the Intercontinental Championship with the British Bulldog and the guy that was there, Bret Hart. So it was a huge deal. And the WWE has had such a huge, huge grasp on the UK. They couldn't wait to be a part of this. So, yeah. I definitely see that.
And how cool must it have been for Adam Copeland after being gone for so long, and his last major, European, UK pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, was a long time ago. You saw right before Judgment Day came out. That wasn't Edge playing to the crowd. That was Adam Copeland having another smile on his face again, just like
big time.
Adam was ecstatic about that.
Big freaking time.
Good on him. I'm happy for Edge. I'm happy for the entirety of the match because now at least we have something to look forward to.
Right.
My question to you, JJ, did Dom really join the Judgment Day? Because he walked out of there on his own.
He did, but he also ripped the Mysterio shirt off,
Right. Hey.
That's why I say it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Monday. I don't know if he joins Judgment Day full on or if he just goes out on his own.
I could very easily see him walk out there, not use the exact theme. I'm not that naive or stupid, but having a very akin moment to "Can you feel the heat?" Dun, 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 dun. Like that slow, methodical stare at the crowd walk when Eddie turned, and it's like, all right, hey, y'all knew I was a Guerrero 17 years ago.
I'm about to say, I literally said on Twitter, I mean, well, when you're raised by a Guerrero who's all about lie, cheating, and stealing, and definitely has the connection with the Mysterios, kind of you expected something like this to a degree. You just wasn't sure how. And wow, Dominic.
And the fact that Bruce Pritchard spun that god-awful false narrative last weekend on A&E about, oh, everybody loved the Dominic storyline. No, they did not. Brother Love, that's a bunch of bullshit. But
we know people that stopped watching the product because of that storyline.
I have a dear, dear Disney friend that was a wrestling fan long before I met her. And I asked her flat out, why? She goes, that stupid custody battle thing. I went, whoa. That wasn't even really that big a deal. But when you think about how many people on the daily in this country, in this world, go through shit like that.
Yeah.
And to have, it trivialized as a WWE storyline, I totally understand the thought process there. However, if they're going to spin that narrative like Bruce spun last week, easy for me to say, like that Bruce Pritchard spun last week on A&E, and they're going to embrace the fact that they loved it and they think the audience loved it, Dom can very easily walk out there and go, so, you guys want to be okay and haha about my, personal life at such a young age being dragged through through everybody to see on global television? Mm-hmm. Hey, y'all knew I was a Guerrero. This is what we do. We lie, we cheat, we steal. We kick our best friends square in the nuts, and we betray family at the drop of a hat.
Man, he hit Edge straight in those uprights.
Ask Chavito how many times Eddie turned heel on him.
Exactly. Orderly.
Ask Rey Mysterio how many times Chavito destroyed his knee in 1 year. Anyway,
that's a different story.
We know that, Sean. We already addressed that.
We did. Yeah, we were.
I'm a little late to the party, brother.
Yes, that's actually what this segment is, Sean. We appreciate you tuning in. Generally, when we we should do it on Dad's or Open Mic Night the following week, but because the show was so early today, we are going through the producers. It's just that JJ wasn't part of our broadcast like he usually is. So, in addition to the producer reveal, we are also JJ's giving his thoughts on the match, and Noah and I are chiming in because we didn't get a chance to cover it ourselves. So I went right into the recap on NoDQ. So, anyway, go back and watch on demand. I beg of you. In the meantime, semi-main was what it should have been. I mean, this was a personal, deep-rooted, visceral rivalry that has spun completely out of control. I was surprised at the finish. I talked about it with Noah privately on the Google form, the fact that I could not select non-finish because I figured it would turn into a complete cluster and not finish decisively. I was wrong. And I'm curious who produced that finish that went to a decisive finish for the person that won.
Well, go ahead and throw Sean's comment up because Jamie by God Noble Boy produced this one also.
Well, there you go. So Jamie Noble produced what many people consider to be the weakest match. And he also produced, oh no, I'm sorry. No, he didn't.
Botch.
Who did the SmackDown match?
The SmackDown women match was Jason Jordan.
That's right, he's Jordan. Okay, and again, Jason Jordan, he's still a fresh pup in the producer side of things, so I can almost give him a pass. It wasn't even that bad of a match. It was just the weakest of the great matches. So it is
exactly. I do agree about that.
JB Noble doing the two most personal rivalry matches does not surprise me. JB Noble has been around long enough. He's seen a lot of the great rivalries over the last 20 years unfold in front of him as a talent, as a producer, as a WWE employee. So I am not surprised at all. What did you think of the finish as it laid out, Jay? Because you and I talked about that it shouldn't finish. It should be a complete schmoz and go further.
But I think I also picked Seth freaking Rollins in this match because I felt like we're going to then roll over into a trilogy. We discussed this a little bit on our prediction show, much like Rollins had earlier this year with Cody.
Right.
I literally said the same thing on the freaking NoDQ panel, and that's why you, David Diaz, Jeff Meacham, Caitlin, and me were the only ones that got that match correct.
You know, I feel like there's going to be another match probably on Raw or SmackDown, whichever.
Yeah, one of the two.
And then the big blow-off match will be at Extreme Rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
because you want that to be the blow-off. You don't want to wait until Survivor Series. That's stupid.
It's too far.
That's too far.
Yeah. So you have a match at a TV, and then you make the blow off at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, because we talked about this, Jay. You and I talked about this ad nauseum. The worst thing that happened to the WWE Championship match for WrestleMania 25 was the fact that it wasn't no holds barred.
Hmm?
This is too personal rivalry to be not blown off in a no holds barred, just
Scenario.
destroy the living shit out of each other match.
Yep.
And I mean, we had divorces brought up and kids bitching them out on the air. It was just, it needs to go to the extreme.
It was
and if the rumors
volatile.
are true, and Paulie's producing Extreme Rules, Raven Tommy,
Yeah.
Raven Sandman.
You know, I think this could really be what brings Matt Riddle to the next level, is this feud with Seth freaking Rollins.
Definitely.
That's what Seth
You know,
does.
If there's ever going to be a serious look at Riddle as a potential world champion, it's how he comes out of this feud.
Yep. Because as great a showing as he had against Roman Reigns, nobody in their right mind thought that was going to be a thing.
No.
No.
I mean, again, I was still very hesitant about Matt Riddle at that point. Still,
I know.
Because up until this rivalry, he's the freaking great value version of RVD for me. And you and I both work in the Waller World. You know what I mean.
Ouch.
Just saying. But this rivalry has turned it up for him. Again, what are the best characters and best personalities on television and wrestling? Yourself with the juice turned up. Just enough to get over.
Mm-hmm.
We've all heard for years now, since he's been around on the roster and on the NXT roster, how much of a hothead prick he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Turn that dude loose. Oh, and by the way, he's a badass MMA fighter too. And not only that, when my kid, who doesn't even watch the product full time anymore, came in and said, "Man, I watched the Matt Riddle's matches. I done told you, boy. I don't even watch MMA myself." But this dude, if he's turned loose in a extreme environment, like, I don't know, a fight pit or some sort of caged environment.
Yeah, just put him in a good old-fashioned steel cage. You know, give it that octagon feel.
If they do that, Seth Rollins is going to die.
I say, Seth Rollins is not going to win a legitimate MMA fight. Let's just put it out there.
But the Joker will fall on his sword with glee and joy because he got another dude to that next
level.
Yep.
The Joker's not the Joker without Batman being successful and being the dominant guy. Riddle goes on and becomes a badass. That we can look back and go, Seth freaking Rollins did that for him.
And that is why I love the Lego Batman movie.
Oh,
because
God, yes.
That is the movie that points all that out to people. And it really makes you think, Batman ain't shit without the Joker, and the Joker ain't shit without Batman.
Yeah.
Can't survive
And the
without
Joker
other.
realizes it, and he's trying to get Batman to realize it.
Yeah. The Joker very much touched on it in the Dark Knight trilogy, but that was just such a serious, guttural, visceral movie that Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne could not acknowledge that. Batman in it was Zach Snuffleupagus, right?
Zach Snuffleupagus, no.
Zach Galifianakis or whoever plays Batman, right?
No. It's Will Arnett.
Oh, that's right, Will Arnett. Zach's in the movie somewhere. I know he is. Anyway, that Batman in that Lego world context can very much acknowledge it. So it's cool stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I agree, and I love that they're letting the Joker side come out, and I love the fact that Riddle wore Riddler colors. I'm sure you love that too, JJ.
I did.
All right, if you know, you know. If you don't, go back onto social media. It's all Halloween. Okay.
There you go.
All right, main event again. We all went over this quite a bit, especially in the moment. James kind of lost his shit, not gonna lie. So I'm very curious who produced this.
Michael P.S. Hayes.
Fucking hell, I knew it.
Yep, it had to be him.
I knew it had to be Hayes. Oh my god. Damn it, P.S. Son of a bitch, Freebird. All right, anyway, well, so much of the F-bomb's not happening on this show because I knew it was going to be somebody that would piss me off. Oh well. Anyway,
feels like he produces most Roman Reigns matches at this point,
which is fine. And again, we talked about it, Noah, briefly. I talked about it ad nauseum with Aaron, but I will let JJ give his thoughts first because he wanted to make sure he gave his thoughts with clarity and unbiased thrown at him. So,
well, let me start off by saying that as soon as the beat dropped, I popped.
Oh yeah.
I grabbed my remote. I cranked it.
Oh yeah.
And I was in tears.
Oh yeah.
Because he was fucking using Broken Dreams.
Yep. I dream broken dream.
Now, was the hybrid okay for you? As he takes a shot, so it must be an affirmative.
Give him a moment to gather his thoughts. That
right.
just
I didn't mind that.
Okay.
I didn't mind that.
Was it a tell for you?
No.
Okay, good.
It wasn't a tell for me because I think I had even talked about this in the pre-show when I was on for that little bit.
Right.
You know, even if it's only like a lead-in to the actual music hitting.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to hear that song again.
Right.
Out of time.
And it had the effect on me that I knew that it would because I love that song so much.
Absolutely.
So listening to my alarm all week long.
You know, I like the background so much. I'm going to put the background back up that JJ gave me to use during the show because I just love that background so much. So we're going to leave that back.
Again, that was so damn brilliant. That set alone, I'm just like, yes.
But
now the actual match.
The match I thought was solid.
Well, again, let me also ask you before you go into the match itself.
Okay.
Did Roman walking out alone and the commentary talking about it, was that a tell for you?
It was for CC.
Okay, see, there you go. It wasn't just us in the room. I feel better about that.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
It was for CC. I still was holding on to that hope.
I'm sure everybody there in freaking Cardiff was.
I was holding on to that hope because he did not get that moment at Mania 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure they were going to give him that, especially when you saw the signs reminiscent of One Night Stand 06.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if Roman wins, we riot. If Drew loses, we riot. The way they were cheering for him. Hell, just looking at the standing ovation they gave Sheamus post-match after he lost.
Right?
My God.
And were they really going to job both of them out?
Yep.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so. And then they did. And I was like, man. But the fact that Solo Sikoa was the cost of it.
Yes.
I'm willing to forgive it because I have been waiting for Solo to come up to make the bloodline thicker, especially with everything going down the past weeks with the honorary Uso, El Generico.
That might change.
Oh yeah, it might now.
You know, I mean, I've been waiting and waiting. I've been reading rumors that Solo has been talked about. I've been hearing that Solo didn't want to go. Yeah. He wanted to make his own name in not Noah's NXT.
Right.
I respect that.
He didn't want to be just another member of the bloodline. So where they're going to go from here, who knows?
Well,
but Cece saw him jump in the barricade, whatever, and she was like, "Who's that?" I was like, "It looks like an Uso."
Right.
And then he pulled the hood off, and I could start to see the blonde. I was like, "It's Solo Sikoa."
Even I knew that.
Yeah.
At first, you can't really tell because they're all brothers. So, you know, you got that hood up.
Yeah.
And it just looks like another skews the typecasting here, but it looks like another thug jumping the rail.
Well, but
But as soon as he started to pull that off and you could see the blonde hair, it's like, oh, yes, it's Solo.
They did the thing. They did the thing.
Did the thing.
And
they kicked the leg out the leg.
Right. What's great is they played it up on commentary that Solo's the most streetwise and dangerous of them all, as far as the three brothers. So, and
hard to argue.
We all know why the Usos and Sammy didn't travel. They weren't medically cleared. Yeah, that's why. It's kind of hard to get a passport when you can't leave the country. DUI shit. Anyway, or in Sammy's case, because he just doesn't want to go there. I like that they're going to go with this. If Solo's going to be on the roster full time, they need to have a thing where Sammy is like, well, what about me? They go to drop Sammy like a bad habit, and KO makes the rescue, and then we get this match. Because
probably
that needs to be a thing. Now, during Aaron, and now that you've said your piece, Jay, Aaron and I don't know if you got a chance to watch the recap Aaron and I did.
Not yet.
We likened it to Lex in 1993. Lex did not win the championship at the Palace of Auburn Hills. But we got balloons. We got confetti. We got a celebration. No championship win. But at least Lex won the goddamn match. This dude lost. And he's out there singing American Pie with Tyson Fury.
Well, you said yourself, damage control.
I am not in any way upset that the bloodline gets thicker. I love that analogy. Great stuff, Jay.
Yeah, brilliant.
I am not mad that the reign of terror continues on and may reach that 1,000 days after all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just mad that Drew McIntyre did not get the moment, because we've all said for over a year, what do you do with Roman if he beats everybody? Which it seems like he's officially done now. But none of us even factored into our brain, what do you do with Drew McIntyre now, other than Karrion Kross and Scarlett?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to be where they go. Because, yes, we didn't mention it, but Karrion Kross did get involved in this match. Yep. He threw a freaking water bottle, but whatever. He still got involved. He still made sure they knew that he was there.
Exactly.
So once Drew's done with Karrion Kross, and by the way, that should play out as Karrion Kross just as dominant, and then he gets the next shot, Roman. But also, where do both of them go from there? But also, Aaron and I are now at a point where Roman Reigns has hit that John Cena status. Big match guy, you don't bet against him now, because it's easy money. There's no way he loses the championship before WrestleMania unless Cody Rhodes is back in time and dethrone him beforehand. That's the only scenario that works. So now it's one of those, USA's been wanting a champion to be on Raw full time. We're going to have a champion that is unstoppable because the guy that's going to stop him has his freaking pectoral muscle hanging off the side of his chest still.
Yep.
And they're not going to get The Rock involved this early. And again, I said this on with Aaron. We are relying an awful lot on a what if when it comes to Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
And to be fair, that's not the only what if we're relying on. We're relying on a lot of what ifs right now, particularly in wrestling.
The only freaking sniff at Dwayne coming in for this was a throwaway mention on a conversation between Jimmy Fallon and Roman Reigns on The Tonight Show. That's it. He did use the Rock on tonight.
There was one other.
Well, Young Rock.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, both NBC properties, and yes, if the casual guy's just going to throw that away. And yes, we noticed it because we're not casual folks. We actually watch this shit for the regular. But we're still, all of us are on a what if.
Yeah.
You know, if it happens, great. If it happens at WrestleMania, great for me. I get to be there. But What do you do with an unstoppable, unbeatable champion from September 3rd until April 1st or 2nd?
Exactly.
What do you do for 7 more months? That's a lot of time. Well, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 8 months, excuse me. That's how bad my math is. 8 months.
Ew, Jesus.
If Cody is not in the Rumble or challenging at the Rumble, man, we are in trouble with the World Championship picture in this company. Because every time Roman's come out there, I beat them all. Oh, wait, here comes Brock Lesnar. Beat them all. Here comes John Cena. Beat them all. Here come. Oh, shit, nobody is coming now.
I say, who you got after that? ...
Do you think that maybe the reason they didn't pull the trigger today, and this is just spitballing here, despite the fact that they were in Drew's home country and it would have been the perfect moment?
Right.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean,
do you think that the reason they didn't pull the trigger is because the show was so damn early and maybe not everybody that normally would tune into a PLE would be watching?
I don't think so, because again, it was front of his home country. His people were there. The people there were watching. It was literally going to be his moment on his home turf.
Just the thought process, that they could then carry this to Extreme Rules.
Yeah. I mean,
and pull the trigger then.
Our favorite phrase since mid-June is never say never again, because Vince McMahon retired.
Yep.
So anything's possible. But I think that's the only way they recover is if they right the wrong, because it is wrong that Drew did not get the moment here.
Exactly.
Right? I don't mind any other part of it. I'm glad Solo's up, man. Solo has been spinning his wheels through deep, murky, damn near quicksand level mud by not being a champion in NXT.
Bleh.
He needed to move. Whether he wanted to or not, he needed to go up to the main roster. And I understand Roman's not scheduled for Extreme Rules as we sit here right now. Doesn't mean that doesn't change Monday, Friday, whatever.
Seriously, there's still a month until.
Yeah, over a month at this point until Extreme Rules.
Right.
Yeah. 1 month and 5 days.
And counting. TikTok.
Yeah. We are counting it for sure.
Where's Carrion's, hourglass?
Right. Like Santi Hourglass, these are the days of our wrestling life.
I mean, if you honestly think that a Paul Heyman booked Extreme show in Philadelphia is not going to feature his client currently,
yep,
you're out of your goddamn mind.
Well, I mean, to be not so stabbed to the eyes there, anything's possible. Mm-hmm. If again, we're all sitting here armchair quarterback in here. I would book Roman on the pay-per-view. I'm calling pay-per-view. I don't give a shit. I'm drunk. I don't care.
Especially since the fact that the Survivor Series is probably going to be the Bloodline.
Well, it has to be at this point.
Versus somebody.
If the graphic color scheme is to be believed, it's going to be the Bloodline versus the Raw team. Which again, you're not talking about it, Jay. It does not need to be a post-draft brand versus brand. It's so stupid they do that. But again,
I just think it should be against, maybe have it be the Bloodline and have it be, Roman, the Usos, and Solo versus Owens, Zayn, Drew, insert name here.
Or Drew, Sheamus, and his boys. Since Sheamus got a babyface pop, whether anybody wanted to give him one or not tonight.
Yeah, after the night, I could see Drew McIntyre and Sheamus coming together. And if you have Drew, Sheamus, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, there's your four to challenge the Bloodline.
Or Drew, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
The unconscionable. Hey, you know what? Stranger things have happened, even on Netflix.
They have. Again, you can't rule out really anything, you know?
I mean, the fact that we haven't seen Brock since SummerSlam.
Right.
Save him for the next big show.
Right.
I don't know if this, again, we're never saying never, ever again.
Right.
This one's a stretch. I don't think we'll see Kenny Omega anytime soon.
I agree.
Ever crossover. And I only say that because Tony Khan waited.
He waited.
Waited for Kenny to get healthy, to build this tournament around him. Whatever happens between them and the Dark Order and Adam Page tomorrow night, this tournament was built around the return of Kenny by God Omega. So for Tony to do that, with all the turmoil going on in that company, allegedly, Kenny's not leaving.
No.
But again, stranger things have happened, but my personal opinion is I'm not going to say never. It's an Aaron Riff, how you like it, not like it. How about that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Rock does not appear at WrestleMania. Well, again, we've all said the Rock Roman showdown does not need the championship.
Exactly.
But if it does, I'm okay with it. And I only am okay with it for the simple reason. I've said this a few times now, and forgive me if I'm being repetitious. That was part of my job description when I was going to hire Disney in the first place. Either way, whoever wins that battle, if it does happen, has to be in serious consideration for the greatest that there ever was in WWE anyway.
Yes.
Rock wins, championship or not, he's beaten every face of the company since the Hogan era. At WrestleMania, no less. Hogan, Austin, Cena, Roman.
Yep.
If Roman wins, every bullshit spit out of his mouth about being the head of that family table, the chief of that tribe, the guy is validated exponentially.
And can never be challenged.
He his cousins out and brought them in line. He clearly got Solo in line tonight. And then he beats The Rock? How is he not the dominant member of that family tree at that point? I mean, seriously. Either way, the winner is the ultimate winner there. Championship is just partially on that plate at that table, man. I'll tell you what.
Yep.
If The Rock does indeed challenge for the championship in the process of facing Roman, that only has to be the match on night one. It doesn't have to be the night two main event, necessarily. Or vice versa. They can have the championship match be on night one, and Rock and Roman can end WrestleMania weekend. And then you get people, oh, well, the championship should main event. Okay, so main event's night one. Blow it out your ass. Relax. Like, seriously. So. No, Rock does not have to win the Rumble. I just explained that. Y'all need to be patient. Let me lay my shit. I'm dropping cans at this point. Y'all need to lay my shit out before you start commenting in the chat room, because that's like why they don't have to. Roman can't work twice a weekend. He's Roman Reigns. Why not? He's the GOAT. Why not? He's on God.
Exactly.
That's what excuse? What are you trying to make an excuse? What excuse?
The only other scenario, thank you for throwing it, at least, Sean, this one at least makes sense, and I'll go ahead and throw it up there. If this is a reality, and again, tomorrow night's going to be a big indicator that's going to be reality, MJF being the guy would be feasible. But again, Chicago and Dynamite post-Chicago definitely is the tell for this gentleman being around.
It's more so the tell for the future of AEW as far as the World Championship picture goes. I've been saying this since November 2019. MJF is the AEW original.
Yep.
That should be the first AEW World Champion to carry this company into a fully reshaped future from the ground up. But I also think about everything you talked about. We still have to consider this, and he's a Paul Heyman guy. Paul Heyman brought the guy in from Evolve. Austin Theory still holds the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yep. And again, Sean, what if this? Well, what if I sprouted the tree out of my ass and grew lemons? Okay, well then I'm a lemon tree, clearly. What if we're just so rabbit hole worthy that we'll be deep diving till after All Out tomorrow night if we keep going down the rabbit holes.
Down the rabbit hole.
Yes. There are a lot of scenarios that can and we feel should play out. But like I said, the best part about what we do is the lack of knowledge that I cherish so much as a fan covering this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I've babbled on enough, clearly.
Ah.
All right. Where are we at
Good
here?
stuff.
What the hell am I graphing? There they are. Okay. AEW topic or WWE topic first, Mr. Williams?
WWE.
All right.
So we're still on WWE. We just covered the pay-per-view, the PLE.
Fair enough.
Let's end with the AEW since All Out is tomorrow.
All right. This poor Yutz, I swear to God. And I say poor Yutz like he didn't do it to his damn self, but Patrick Clark again.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. He just, and again, I don't know the guy. I saw Patrick Clark come out as Patrick Clark at a live event before he officially changed the name of the gimmick to the Velveteen Dream. So he's been a project for a long time now, but he keeps turning his dream into a Velveteen Nightmare, it feels like. So where did Noah's ready? Oh, I thought you turned your screen block to get away from this topic.
No, there's some bullcrap going on outside. Continue.
And again, Sean, I appreciate the comments on Open Mic Night. If you want to introduce a topic into the fold, we very much appreciate super chat so we can actually get our attention properly, because right now we're focused on what's on your screen in front of you. So anyway, JJ, I'll start with you. I didn't let you talk very much.
Yeah, I know very little about Velveteen Dream, so I'm going to let you guys just kind of handle this one, and I'll throw my 2 cents in where I can based off of the information you guys give me.
I'm realizing I introduced you as a moderator, not letting you moderate. I apologize for that, Jay. I didn't realize I was doing it. I just kind of flew that into it, so I apologize. Now what we followed Patrick Clark all through your NXT, all throughout his appearances with the company.
Mm-hmm.
Arrested twice in 1 week after all the social media. I'm coming back, and does this guy have a future in the public eye at this point?
It's one of those things where if you constantly are a repeat offender, why should anybody believe in you? I'm not sure right now, because ever since one of the most original things WWE's done in a long time that had so much promise, so much potential to be a big thing in the WWE, we're seeing the wolf in sheep's clothing. I really don't know at this point. I mean, again, it's one of those things where I believe people deserve a second chance, but when you abuse that and you fail to realize your mistakes the first time around, and then the second time around, I mean, I could go on a tangent with JJ and his guardian angel that used to be quite sunny. Now I don't know anymore. I don't know at this point. It's one of those things where, again, a person can literally destroy themselves and may not have a way to come back. At the end of the day, you could ask for somebody to get help, but for them, it'll already be too late because that's their choice, and they might just ignore it. I don't know.
As far as second chances go, I mean, I feel like there could be a second chance for him still in the WWE. I mean, just ask Jeff Hardy. Just ask Bloodline member Jey Uso. I mean, there's a reason he can't travel outside the U.S., but WWE still has him as one half of the Unified Tag Team Champions. So, I mean, WWE needs to really think about it and be like, so are we going to pick and choose who we give second chances to? Or are we willing to give second chances to anybody? Because they come off as very hypocritical if they don't give them a second chance.
I'm only going to disagree with part of that. And what I mean by that is, with all due,
respect, just put it out
there.
No,
not even respect. I don't respect the fact that the USO in question keeps getting DUIs. I think it's ridiculous at this point.
I agree too, and that's a whole different rant. I'm just like,
But
why?
Jimmy or Jay, or whichever one it was, is not accused of sexual shenanigans like Patrick Clark has been. Guilty or not, because Enzo, got away, not got away, but he was cleared of all charges. So, it wasn't charging you brought against him. But WWE has that very much like, that's not okay. But I do also concede the fact that Sonny's arrest and subsequent trial for DUI that led to a man's death has very much put a tarnish on that Sonny shine. Yeah. So, and DUIs are not, trust me, I lost 3 friends to a impaired driver in my junior year of high school. So I don't fucks with that stuff.
Yeah. With all due respect to my guardian angel, it's a good thing she's already in the Hall of Fame, because if she was not, she would not get in at this point based off of that DUI and everything.
Yeah.
And the death.
Yep.
She would not get in with that now on her record.
No, the things in her life post her Hall of Fame induction have just been one shitstorm after another for her. And again,
so she is very lucky that she got in when she did.
Yeah, and again, I am not condoning the Usos, drunken, repeats. Nor am I condoning WWE for allowing them to do it and still making them tag team champions. I think that's absolute bullshit.
Agreed.
We said that when it happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I do agree with you that it's hypocritical that, some things are looked the other way and some aren't. And again, not agreeing, not condoning. The only thing I can think of is the reason is because the Anawahis are the Anawahis. And Patrick Clark is not. Doesn't make it right.
No.
But it is what it is.
But basically you're just calling it as we see it. We know how deep the Anai family runs when it comes to the WWE.
And, if I remember right, and again, I could be completely muddling this in my brain at this point in my memory, I don't think Patrick Clark even had a good start when he was on Tough Enough. I think there was already,
he was eliminated. Yeah, he was eliminated.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, yes, but what I mean is I remember something more, more involved than just that. He got cut. So
right.
Why would you entertain the idea of bringing somebody in with that kind of problematic history? It's, again, we shit on Tony for overinflating the roster with just people, period. And WWE's not doing that right now anyway. But when you bring people on the roster that have drama, that's almost as stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, we're going right around on this. Sean did do as I asked, so we will bring it up. If Liv Morgan faces Ronda and Shayna both, who wins?
The fans.
The fans.
For one thing, yes, I agree with that.
In all honesty, I think it would have to go to Ronda, since she never should have lost the rematch.
And
because of the tap out pinfall finish.
All right.
And out of all 3, Ronda is the biggest star. Let's just put it out there. Ronda's the biggest star of all 3. I actually watched the clip, Jeff, from SmackDown, where Adam Pearce finally just said what was on his mind and suffered for it.
So good.
So Ronda Rousey right now, she is right. She is the most legitimate women's athlete on the planet. So, yeah, it would be Ronda in my opinion. Ronda.
And she's going to be the one to sell tickets for Mania. No disrespect for Liv, but Ronda versus insert name here, probably Shayna would be where I would go with it. Would sell better than Liv versus
any other WrestleMania, any other time frame the last 5 years. I agree with you. It's damn near sold out as it is.
And that, let's be honest, that's just because of one name, rumor to be there. It's The Rock.
You know what? I can't speak for the other, 80,000 people that have bought tickets, because I'm not those people.
Right.
Not even on my mind when I bought my ticket.
Good on you.
It's here. Last time it was here, I didn't go. I'm going.
I feel like WrestleMania sometimes is just literally about the experience. So I can see what you mean.
I will agree with you guys on Ronda, because this thing needs to go down already.
It hasn't yet. It's the one singles match we have yet to see in the WWE.
Yep. We were supposed to get it. Let's see. What pay-per-view were we supposed to get that at?
That would be Survivor Series.
2018, right?
Yes.
And where were they in 2018 for Survivor Series?
They were in California.
They were just down the street from SoFi Stadium at what is now called Crypto.com Arena. So.
Oh, I didn't know that name changed.
I'm okay with it being in Hollywood after all. I'm all right with that.
Well, there you go.
There you go, Sean. Thank you for the $2. We appreciate your donation to the cause. Donate further. Buy all the shirts. On the subject of merch shill, because Lord knows if there was ever a group that was all about the merch shills, even in their reincarnations over the years, it was Generation X. And there's a prominent member of the DX Army that had a particular comment toward the people he coaches now amongst the ranks of the All Elite. JJ?
Yes. Billy Gunn gave an interview this past week where he's telling the talent to slow down in the ring. He says, quote, I ask the talent as their coach if they want to do this for a long time, like me, or if they only want to do it for a couple of years, because your body can't take going out there and trying to have a main event of WrestleMania style 5-star match every single time. They're killing themselves instead of setting a pace and taking it easy in certain situations that call for it. They'll do that on Dark, and it's nothing against the Dark or Elevation shows, but those are the secondary shows. Even when you're on Dynamite and Rampage, that doesn't mean you have to unload everything you have in 7 minutes. Sometimes more is less. With the way wrestling is these days, fans will forget about a match that's just move, move, move in a heartbeat. But if you slow down, tell a story, then in the last match of the feud, go out there and have a great match. It not only saves your body, but it helps your longevity in the business on so many levels.
The following promo for Billy Gunn was brought to you by Virtue and everybody else that's a fan of not so much Professor Wrestling for Sports Entertainment. I mean, Virtue's been saying that for a year with these AEW kids. And I think I'm not trying to, smooch the NoDQ booty here.
Yeah.
But
I'm still new to the AEW product, but it's very much a independent show vibe.
Yeah.
You know, where these kids go out there and they try to outdo the match that was in front of them.
Yep.
And the curtain jerker comes out there, they have, we'll just for shits and giggles say a 3-star match.
Right.
Next match comes out there, they try to have a 4-star match.
Right.
Next match comes out there, they try and go 4.5. Next match comes out there, tries to have a 5. It's just like, that's great for your quarterly pay-per-views.
Yep. Yeah.
That doesn't need to be every week on television.
No.
I agree.
And we wonder why we're in the summer of injuries.
Yeah.
Because of this right here.
He's right. Yeah, he's 100% right.
I cannot deny that. Absolutely.
There's a reason he was brought in to be a coach, to be an advisor. There's a reason he was allowed to sleep in on the cruise while he sent his boys out there to do the errand stuff, because he's Billy friggin' Gunn. He knows what he's talking about.
I mean,
right?
you look at this picture, and granted, the wording is covering up his lower torso, so picture damn near makes him look naked with the wording there. But the man is in phenomenal shape for his age.
Yep.
And there's a reason why he's had a 30-year career.
Yeah.
Going back to the Smoking Guns and Rockabilly and Badass Billy Gunn and the One Billy Gunn and Billy and Chuck, and so on and so on.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason why he still can get out there and put on a good match. Same with Sting.
Yep.
Sting's not out there every week wrestling his ass off.
No.
Sting gets in there in a major moment.
As he should.
Exactly.
That's all he needs to do. And even when he gets in there in a match, he's not in there going all out, pun intended.
Hey.
He gets in there, does a Stinger splash, maybe a Scorpion Death Drop, Scorpion Deathlock. He's good.
Yeah.
You know, couple of shots in the corner, give the little howl. He didn't need to get out there and put on, you know, a 20-minute mat classic.
Yeah, he's not wrestling Flair in
Those
88.
days are behind him.
Yeah.
Right.
Get in there, get your moments in, get your big spots in, tag out.
Yeah. I forget it was on this show or one of the other shows I do, but people forget how big a dude and how solid a dude Billy Gunn is.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. I've been next to the man. He is awesome.
In his prime, he was the same height as Hogan in his prime. 6'8". A legit 6'8", and even now, shredded.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, just look at that picture. His abs have abs.
Right.
His six-pack has a six-pack.
Eat your heart out, Tony Nese.
Right. Jesus. I mean, again, I'm not saying I'm ever, in the history of my life, ever going to be the tallest guy in the room again, because, you know, I'm already getting 40, and I was shrinking, 15 years ago, it feels like now. But when I met everybody I met on the Jericho Cruise, and I got to meet quite a few people, I was around these guys on the AEW roster and the legends of the business, and just seeing how big these kids are. I'm thinking, okay, well, meeting Dean Malenko and with 4 fingers, it's like, yeah, Dean's been around. I'll feel like I'm okay. Where'd it go?
Right.
Look at this shit. Billy's leaning over. And motherfucker's still taller than me. By a lot. By a lot. Okay?
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just putting it out
it's
there.
okay, because I'm laughing too. He's a big, solid dude, and when you meet him off the ship and where'd you were sleeping? My old ass was in bed. I'm tired. I don't do shit. You walk away and you say yes, sir, and you keep on walking. Because
there you go.
He's bigger than you. He's stronger than you. He will plant your ass in the Bahamas sand because that's how you do. But I love that he gave this advice. I love that he put this in a social post or interview of some kind. That was a brilliant thing to have go out there. Because not only will the kids in AEW see that he's not just saying it to them to hear his own voice. Everybody that is in wrestling / sports entertainment or is going to get into wrestling / sports entertainment needs to see and hear this.
I mean, if you really want to think about it, he is the only DX member that still wrestles.
On the regular, anyway, absolutely.
On the regular, I'm about to say.
Yep. And, again, I was mentioning the people I saw. Go back. Go ahead, Jay. Keep going with your point. I'm sorry.
That was my point. It was just like, Hunter left his gear in the ring at Mania. Sean has retired. Yes, he came back for the occasional one-off when, Country Redacted.
Yeah.
Road Dogg is retired. I don't hear much from Waltman these days.
Sean's he's not wrestling, but he's still very much active as far as, just making appearances and whatnot.
Right.
But Billy is still out there, again, not weekly, but he gets in there. He still does his thing. He is still making his presence known on a regular basis.
Right.
There's a reason why he still can get out there and do this stuff.
Yep. You got a guy like Chris Jericho. Wrestling longer than Billy, as far as I know. Maybe by only a year or two, but still, not too far off the mark.
No.
And there's just so many people that are in AEW that don't wrestle all the time. On the regular, but at least semi-regularly. There's 2 people that I was trying to find a picture of. That's why I was stalling as best I could there. There's 2 people that really came to mind that I saw on the cruise, and I still see wrestle to this day on some sort of quote-unquote major product. People debate whether it's a major product in this case, but, Robert Gibson. He was the NWA World Tag Team Champion in 1985 with Ricky Morton. And he still wrestles on the regular. Not as often as Ricky does, because Ricky crazy, but on the regular. And then these 2 guys. Daniels is head of talent. He didn't have to do a damn thing again if he don't want to. And he's still wrestling occasionally on Impact. He still wrestles on the occasional Dark or Elevation match.
NJPW, particularly, he was involved in the tag tournament for their inaugural NJPW Strong Tag Team Championships.
Same with Frankie. Frankie's, wrestling on the regular all over the place. Sabin and Shelley. How long have they been around? They're still going.
I mean, Alex really talked about on Impact Wrestling how what the price that Sabin has paid for this industry to even become the Impact World Champion to a degree and still go as hard as he does.
I gotta say, small side note there, but you mentioned Sabin and Shelley. That is the one match I was looking forward to tomorrow that I can't see.
That's going to be good. That's one of those sort of boys.
I wanted to pick with my heart so bad and go for them in Lethal, but it's like, they're not going to job Wardlow out.
No. You know what? I would say FTR they might, but they're not going to job Wardlow out. Yeah, they're not going to do that.
No.
But, it's one of those, because, again, this is kind of, inside baseball on this side of the country, but man, Sabin and Shelley and Jay and Frankie and Chris, it's like, those are our boys, man. It's like, all the damn feels and bastards.
I know.
Freaking tug at the heartstrings.
And it's crazy because you think of those guys and you think of what they did in TNA all those years ago, and you think about the fact that we're going to be probably talking about all 6 of those guys and more in a couple of weeks on Dads, and it's just.
God, I am so looking forward to that.
They're all still going, brother. It's not like we're talking about guys that are in wheelchairs sitting on their front porch watching the wrestling world go by. All them dudes I just mentioned are still wrestling, most of them on the regular.
I
love it. You figure the only people I should say, that I don't know for sure on the regular wrestling from that original when this belt was the belt back in the day. You don't hear much about Amazing Red anymore. Jerry Lynn is definitely retired, but he's still producing for AEW.
Right.
And Sean Wallen. Low-key, I think, is still wrestling. AJ's definitely wrestling. Joe, Sabin, Shelley. It wasn't X-Division champion, I don't think, but he still, was involved in the division. Daniels.
Here's another name from that title era that I don't hear much about. It's a little bit of a blast from your past. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Shane.
As soon as I said Frankie, I thought Michael Shane because of the co-win. Matt just kind of just faded away, and that's a shame because you talk about bloodlines of wrestling, man. Shawn Michaels is your cousin. Shit.
I think that's why I don't think he could ever get out of that stigma.
But I wonder if he were to entertain the idea if NXT would pick him up, being Sean's cousin. Because he was a damn good wrestler. And, I swear I heard he and Frankie had a falling out at some point. I could be wrong on that, so forgive me, Frankie, if I'm wrong.
Probably over Tracy.
That was a different conversation in itself.
That wouldn't surprise me because,
and that just goes back to our it's always a woman to mess up the Hakuna Matata.
Well, but you know what, though? Tracy, and again, I'm way inside baseball at this point, right? But, Frankie and Tracy are just so good together. They always have been, and they're a great couple. I love them both to pieces. So I can't hate on them for doing it. And if that's what asked Matt out, well, it is what it is. But anyway, that era of the X Division is why that match tomorrow between the Guns and Jay Lethal and Wardlow and FTR is definitely high on the priority list. It's not going to amount to shit in storylines. No. Let's be honest. No. But it's going to be a hell of a fun match to watch for us old TNA X Division fan fogies. So, but there's a lot of good shit going on tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. Noah's going to call 20 matches tomorrow and have to have a IV of Mountain Dew at his side. Poor bastard. Mostly calling it with either JJ or James if James is up for it. James came to a mind and said he was so tired. He just could not hang tonight. And I don't, I only did it because I came straight out of the movie theater. I'd probably be over here.
Which, I messaged him back. I was like, if you happen to wake up and feel like participating, just participate in the chat room.
Yeah.
Like we got this, bro. You know, me and Noah will hold things down for the NXT, super show, I guess we can call it.
Yeah.
He's not even necessarily needed until All Out.
And even then, if he doesn't come in, Noah I have Noah's access, so we're watching the same thing, so we'll be good. So it's all good. I do want to acknowledge in the chat room a different James, our buddy James Malspino. Just stop in. This is a while ago, so I apologize, James. Just stop in to say hi, guys. I'm a very bad depression, not feeling great, but optimistic. You guys make me forget that stuff for a minute. Thank you. Thank you for allowing yourself to come out of the funk and join us.
Yes. We also take pride in the fact that we can make you forget about whatever is causing you that funk right now, even for just a few moments.
Everybody in this room knows, everybody in the chat room knows, this stuff is what has brought me out of the funk so many times the last 3 years. So if we can pay that shit forward, dude, for real, makes my day. It really does. It really does. It's moments like that. It's moments like getting a text from Jenna earlier. Can you send me the video from the cruise of Chris singing with us? One of the clients I'm working with today is a big Jericho fan. Made the kid's day. Because Jenna does nannying for a living when she's not, blowing rock stages off their freaking, holsters.
Yeah. I'm going to throw this out there to you because I've had a hard time finding it. And since you know someone who's actually in a GNR tribute band, maybe they can help me locate it.
Okay.
I'm looking for a t-shirt from Use Your Illusion. The front side is part 1. The back side is part 2. I can find t-shirts for Use Your Illusion on eBay, and it'll have volume 1, and then the back will have tour dates. Mm-hmm. Same with volume 2. It'll have tour dates or something, but I'm looking for the double-sided volume 1 on one side, 2 on the other side.
Are you saying you saw it and you know it exists, or are you just looking to see if it does exist?
I know it exists because I saw a certain somebody in a movie that my daughter is obsessed with jumping on his bed wearing it. And I would like to find said t-shirt to potentially get for my daughter since she is a huge fan of that character from that 3-movie franchise.
Can I tell her birthday or Christmas?
Absolutely.
I'll take care of it for you.
Doesn't need to be something that needs to be found right now today, but it's definitely something I'd like to track down.
Without putting shit out there on blast, I'll make it happen.
Well, if you can make it happen, grab one my size 2. Because I was a fan of that character first, goddammit.
I know. Trust me.
Noah's all kinds of lost. I'm talking about Fulton Reed from the Ducks franchise. The Ducks.
I'm good. I'm working on church stuff. I'm good. Shoot.
I've been
working nonstop on computer-based stuff.
I will say this. I knew it existed.
Yeah, I know it existed exactly what you were referencing. Because I saw it on him. I know it existed. Yeah. But it probably existed when the album first came out, and now it's not so easy to track down.
Yeah, it'll be difficult, but not impossible, especially with the chain of command I got to go through. But
the force is strong with you, sir.
It has to be doing the shit I do outside of this damn channel. So, yeah, Christmas, possibly birthday, more than likely. So, all right, people are going, Christmas, what's that? There is a book called Christmas. It's in my Santa bag right back here. I do have that book. It does exist. All right, kids. I think that's it. We got our shit.
Yes, I have no more topics to go through.
That's right. No more miles to go.
we can always do a brief post show after All Out tomorrow if we want to cover, our thoughts on the matches and whatnot. Yeah. Since
if anything major happens, I would say yeah, but also we do have our dad's show on Monday that is actually going to be a thing. Let me go ahead and get that graphic up so I can go ahead and actually without talking out of my ass with no visual aids, because that's never a popular way to do business. Yeah. There it is. Come on. Go back over where I put you. Attaboy. There we go. All right. So in the interest of taking that week off that I actually need the Monday off, which is the 12th, and then the 26th will be after my training is officially over, so who the hell knows what's going to happen down the line. We will be going live Monday instead, as not originally scheduled, but we are going to do it. And since our last Top 10 show Jay and I did was a wrestling-centric show, we're going to flip that proverbial script that we had lined up originally and go ahead and do this show Monday, Labor Day, which ironically is a non-school day, which I find funnier than hell. But as the kids are not in school, as we are not in school with our kids, we will be doing the top 10 movies set in the school setting.
And I just realized I have not got my list done for that, so I have less than 48 hours to get my shit done.
As do I. So there you go. That's we are
because I was totally prepped for the X Division show to be next, but unfortunately, a certain somebody who ordered a birthday gift for me did not mark on the thing. Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did not mark that things didn't need to be signed for. So when it was attempted to be delivered yesterday, it now is rescheduled for delivery on Tuesday, which is why I said.
Yes.
But if everything comes through on Tuesday like it's supposed to, I will unbox on Statboy Sports Bar that day because he wanted me to open it live.
Well, of course, and that's awesome that he got it. I'm glad he got it for him.
If everything goes right, then yes, I will unbox it on Tuesday on the Sports Bar.
Very cool. So we will be doing that. Before that, I'll go ahead and throw your calendar up. I don't think I have that ready, but I will make it ready.
I was going to say, great googly moogly, because I got so much shit coming.
Hey, you're good, brother. You're good. That's okay.
Stay busy.
I made that. Not only did I totally trick this shit out, I made it color coordinated for JJ Centric.
Hey.
There you go. That JJ is working every day this month, on top of Thursday through Saturday being labeled blue on another calendar because he's working. So
there you go.
There you go. There it is. The entire month on the Casa.
Yeah. And that doesn't even factor in the dad's live streams that are going to be on this coming Monday, the 5th, as well as the 19th.
Sharing a day with two of my favorite school movies, Dangerous Minds and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Not a bad way to spend a Monday, kids. Tell you
Let me ask you this. I'm going to throw this to both of you. No, I know you're not that movie centric, but knowing that Dangerous Minds is where Gangsta's Paradise came from, how many times do you think that song was featured during the movie?
Oh, I already know. But...
4?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
4 times, which again,
that's a lot.
If you're going to have synergy, you might as well, blow your wad and promote it like hell, right? Seriously. But yeah, this is one of my favorite months you've done this year. I mean, I love people of my, and again, you're just above my generation by a hair, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
But people sleep on Rodney Dangerfield in general, and I'm back to school, and it's boo shit. BEW shit. So if you missed that review on yesterday, go watch the movie. It's on
HBO Max.
HBO Max, there you go. And then watch the review because I loved it. I love the review too.
Did you watch the review?
I did.
Did you see the little link I threw up for our Halloween show?
I did. I was very impressed with that. Thank you. Appreciate that. So Dangerous Minds, again, I haven't seen it, I think, since it came out. And even then, I don't think I saw it till later because it was...
I hadn't seen it since it came out either. I remember seeing it in theaters, and I hadn't seen it since.
Yeah, I was a little young for that. And again, I am not Coolio's biggest fan. I don't think I'm even Coolio's littlest fan. I can't stand the dickhead. But great song.
Yeah,
great movie.
Ice is by and far his pinnacle, his peak.
Yep.
Going to Hammer's house party and getting to see him perform it live was awesome.
Right. Yeah, and again, I wouldn't honestly pay to see just him.
Yeah.
But something like that, I would go.
Well, put it to you this way. I didn't pay for that show, period.
Right.
I went waited in line for free tickets, was there early enough that I could score free tickets.
Right.
And then I got to see Hammer, Coolio, In Vogue, and the group that I really went for, Kid and Play.
Yeah.
Because being a fan of the house party movies, getting to see Kid and Play rock the mic and do the kick step live in concert,
yes,
just made everything for me. And I have to find a way somewhere where I can do the house party series.
Yeah, I mean, where does it fit without a theme? Yeah,
franchises. It's a 5-movie franchise, and they're talking about another movie.
If they bring Kid and Play back, I'll be okay with it. Otherwise,
the 5th one had them in a cameo towards the end.
I know, but
it was enough for me. But yeah, I read that there's a 6th one coming, and supposedly LeBron James is heavily involved in the production of it.
No,
so I'm curious to see where that's going to go.
I was okay with Space Jam and his involvement in that, so we'll see.
But yeah, this is a huge month, like you said.
The other movies this week, Stand Deliver and The Substitute. I heard good things about Substitute when it was out, but I had not seen it yet. I will.
Substitute is the Wish version of Dangerous Minds.
It's kind of what I thought.
It's Tom Berenger. The soundtrack was very hip hop centric. The notable song from that one was Mac 10's Hoobanin with Ice Cube.
Yeah. Okay.
Stand and Deliver. Edward James Olmos, Lou Diamond Phillips. If you remember that episode of South Park with Cartman, what are we going to do with these kids?
Yes.
Like, that's totally making fun of Stand and Deliver.
Right. Yeah.
It's so bad it's good, but it's a great performance. I want to say this was Lou Diamond Phillips the same year as La Bamba.
Yeah, I know for Edward it wasn't too far off the Selena track, if I remember right.
No, it was a few years away because it's about a decade difference.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Stand and Deliver was late 80s and Selena was like 97.
Oh, that's right, because she was shot in 95. That's right. Jesus Christ. Okay. And then Clueless, again, if you're, especially JD is at my age, you haven't seen Clueless, for the love of God, find a way to see this movie before 12.
I was going to say, if you grew up in the 90s, you've seen Clueless.
Right.
Another great high school movie with a Coolio song on the soundtrack, Rolling with My Homies.
Fair enough, dude. I forgot about that. You're right, though.
I always clown my daughter because when she wears her Hufflepuff pants, it looks like Cher's checkered outfit. And I'm like, you know what? You rocking the Cher gear. And she's like, it is Hufflepuff.
She did the same shit to me. I'm like, look, little girl. Here's a picture, and she just stormed off. I'm like, that's right.
That's because she's seen Clueless and she hates Cher.
How can you not
that's
hate
why.
Her till the very end? Noah's going, I'm just going to look her t-shirts. They're doing movie stuff. I feel bad for Noah just sitting there.
Then we got Mean Girls. You got Heathers, which that was one that was recommended by Cece. Yeah, I've never seen Heathers. Shannon Doherty is in it. Winona Ryder, Christian Slater.
Yep.
Totally 80s. So you've kind of got like an iconic female-led 80s, 90s, and 2000s movie that week. That's kind of the little mini theme there.
Yeah.
The week prior is urban.
Yes. I think my favorite week of the month is the week that we do the X Division show on that Monday, because you got Fast Times, you got freaking Breakfast Club, which I adore the Breakfast Club movie. I don't give a shit how that makes me look. And then Ferris Bueller, which is just one of the best things ever done.
I just watched Ferris Bueller last night, so I could try to get it in.
That's still one of the best things ever done in cinema. My God. So
Kyra
fun.
had never seen it, so we were like, okay, we're putting this on.
Right.
We were having streaming issues the last couple of days. There was an outage in the area.
Yeah.
So it's like I should have been watching The Substitute, but I couldn't get the streaming going. So it was like, what do I have out that's accessible? Right. Ferris Bueller. Let's put that in.
There are so many good people in that movie.
Yeah.
Like that went on to do some incredible stuff. Some people kind of did what they did, but man, I love everybody that's a star and a feature player in this movie.
Yeah,
Even
you got Matthew Broderick, you've got Alan Ruck, you've got Jennifer Grey, you got Jeffrey Jones before he became taboo.
Right.
You got Edie McClurg, you've got Ben Stein.
Yep.
So good.
Yep.
Charlie Sheen cameo, and he's busted in the police precinct for drugs. How poetic is that?
Oops. Yeah,
Charlie Sheen in the police precinct for drugs. Okay.
I'll take stereotyping for 200, Alex. Or not stereotyping, typecast for 200, Alex. All I know is Edie McClurg I got to meet because she was in Elvira, the original Elvira movie, and she was at the anniversary screening down at the Vista. What a doll. What a sweet, sweet lady. And great in this cast. And then the last week, I've not seen the Dorm Days one because the National Lampoon movies just kind of went the direction they went, right? But Animal House is freaking a gem.
I've never seen Animal House.
What?
I've seen the Shout performance because they used to play that all the time at the Ice Dogs games.
And the Kings games later. Yeah, that's true.
But I've never sat down and watched Animal House start to finish, and I'm curious to see that. But the Dorm Days movies I saw because they came out kind of around the same time that the Pie movies were popular.
Of course, of course.
You know, you got Danielle Fishel, your lovely Topanga in both of them. You've got the Shermanator in both of them.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Patrick Renna, you know, Ham from The Sandlot is in the first one.
Of course he is.
You know, you got Vita Guerra, who was the FHM hottest woman on the planet at that point in part 2.
Should have been.
So it's pretty decent casts in both of them.
All right. I will say this then. If
Dorm Days, let me just cut you off right there. Dorm Days I can't find on streaming anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Thankfully, I own both of them. But Dorm Days 2 is on multiple platforms.
If we end up doing what I said we could hopefully do and get together next weekend, since that's my last weekend of freedom, we're putting on Animal House. I don't give a shit what we gotta do. We're gonna watch Animal House with me there. I gotta see your reactions. Good Lord.
We'll figure it out.
And then, of course, new release Saturday. You just had to go up today, the new movie with Owen Wilson that's on Paramount Plus.
For those of you that weren't able to tune in, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to see Beast. Time and money just was a thing. That's why when Jeff ran the trailer at the start, it was black.
Yeah, it is what it is, folks.
I just really don't feel like re-editing the trailer because of that one thing.
And plus, he already had to re-edit the October trailer because I called him out on it. So
Yeah.
it's like
it's one of those things, you know. Wrestling promoter's favorite phrase: card subject to change.
That's right. But this movie I heard is really good and definitely worth your time. So I'm okay with the switch.
I have not seen Spy Kids, but I feel like it's very much in a similar vein to Spy Kids, Zoom,
Yes.
you know, Sky High, that type of thing.
Yeah. And, you know,
with Michael Pena, you know, Luis from Ant-Man as the villain.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's a scene where he gets a superhero suit, and Owen Wilson is like, you know, let's just fight man to man, and he's like, nah, man, it's all about the suit. It's all about the suit. Like, because you know, he's Ant-Man's sidekick. He doesn't get to wear a suit in the MCU. He's like, God damn it, I want to rock the suit.
Absolutely. Then you got that. You've got, you know, clearly my ex's favorite Saturday of the month with Sylvester Stallone being involved in Samaritan.
You know, the trailers for that look so good. It kind of reminds me of Hancock from the trailers.
It does. Very much so. It does.
You know, then you got Me Time. You've got Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart. That should be an interesting duo.
I think if anybody's going to team with Kevin Hart that's not Dwayne, Mark Wahlberg's a great partner for Kevin Hart to play off of. And then I know you're looking forward to the 24th.
Oh, God, yes. Clerks 3 is going to be so good.
I saw that poster at the theater today. I'm like, I know where JJ's going to be before too long here.
Yes.
Good on them for finally getting it done. You know, they've been wanting to do that for so long, the whole Kevin Smith team. So good on them. They finally get that shit, and that's awesome.
Yes.
And of
Daniel,
course,
thank you for your comments in the chat room there. Yes. October is not a can't miss.
Yes.
Going to be
I
breaking out.
singled out one of the movies because the Freddie and again, of course, for September, Stat Boy Sports, Perfect Story, Lou, Warzone on Sundays. That's the usual shtick, Walter Cruz would say on the NoDQ stuff. But man, people tend to love a lot on the original Nightmare on Elm Street, as they should.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones in between that and New Nightmare just kind of get all lumped together, at least the way I observe it. Dream Warriors, I think, is the best of the sequels of the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I think Dream Warriors is so good, and it does get enough critical praise compared to the other ones, yes, but it doesn't get talked a lot about by the general audience, if that makes any sense. So
I agree that I don't want to get too in depth because it could end up providing a spoiler,
right,
for another Dad's Topic that'll be coming in October.
Yes.
But yeah, Dream Warriors is definitely one of those that is up there. I mean, Lawrence Fishburne. You've got Dawkins doing the soundtrack, the Dream Warrior song.
For those NWA fans, they did To the Fire, for those of you who don't know.
They so much good stuff.
Yes, indeed. October is probably going to be our favorite month, at least my favorite month, because you're covering Freddy, who was my original horror love. The Munsters from Rob Zombie, which people are either going to love or hate. There will be no in between because it's Rob. Let's not front.
I'm also subjecting myself to Halloween 2, Rob Zombie.
Hey, you know what? It's part of the franchise. If we all got to sit through a review of anything after Part 4, then you got to sit through Rob Zombie's, damn. And again, I mentioned this at the top. I love that you included the kills. Freaking that shithead boyfriend in Part 4, he had it coming, Chicago style. He had it coming. He had it coming all along. The cheating bitch in 4 had it coming. That little freaking... I see your hand. Just give me a damn minute to get my spiel out. The greaser asshole in 5 definitely had it coming. And who else did you... the nurse, which is just a bad byproduct of a decent sequel. But yeah, I love it. Go ahead.
You forget I haven't seen those movies yet, so I don't know who the characters are or why they are meeting their doom. I just found a YouTube video that I was able to chop off some of Michael's best kills, and I tried to stop it just before the physical kill because I didn't want to give away too much in the trailers for anybody like me who maybe hasn't seen them before.
Okay. Well, then let me ask you.
That's why you saw him like load her up next to the spike, and then it cuts. And
right,
the
so
guy,
you haven't seen that.
he raises the rake up, and then it cuts.
Yeah. But what's funny is, at least in that one, Part 5, a lot of that type of kill, the raising of the rake, what happens to the mom, like you don't see the actual kill. That nurse in 6 gets it. I see it. Trust me, because I want to throw it up there.
I was gonna say, put that up for me real quick.
That's wonderful. I did
Daniel,
that.
thank you. And to steal a phrase from Yankee Doodle Dandy, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my brother thanks you, and rest assured, I thank you for that.
And because of his status within the Universal Monsters, his nephew thanks you.
That's right.
Because Dylan saw the Universal Monsters because of this guy. So
the fact that you got introduced to my channel and became a fan of mine because of that means the world to me. Thank you.
Still have
there was such a reason why I started with those movies. I wanted to lay the foundation. And my girlfriend even was like, I thought you were going to pick up with where you left off in like the 70s and stuff. And it's like, we can come back to some of the smaller entries and stuff, but like I want to start jumping into these meaty franchises because there's so many between Freddy, Jason, Michael, Chucky, Pinhead, the list goes on and on. Leatherface, Jigsaw, Ghostface.
Yep.
It's like there's so much out there to tackle.
And people don't realize how many mega stars got their start in this stuff. Jamie Lee Curtis is a primary example. Jennifer
Kevin
Aniston,
Bacon.
Leprechaun movies. Johnny Depp, who's in your trailer. So
Kevin Bacon
in the Jason movies, absolutely, man. And Kevin Bacon's one of the better kills in Friday the 13th, the original one, for my money. Just a brutal. But yeah, I think Johnny Depp's ultimate fate in the original Freddy movie is still one of the biggest mind F's for me, because I hadn't seen that until after I got with Dylan's mom, who was I think still is a huge Johnny Depp fan. And she's not a fan of that franchise anyway. She's a very scary antagonist. But man, did they get Johnny in like, oh, Lord.
I forget when it is that I have it booked for, but I am planning to do an entire Johnny Depp month down the road.
There you go.
Without touching the Pirates films.
Well, there you go. Because that's more of a Disney or a franchise thing anyway.
Exactly. It's its own franchise. When I do months like that, I try not to do movies that have sequels, trilogies, franchises. I try to do as many standalones as humanly possible. If I have to buffer with something, I will. But I try to avoid that, because that's where movies with one sequel come in. That's where trilogies come in. That's where franchises come in.
Exactly. I will say this: if you're going to do a Johnny Depp month, there's a lot of good stuff in Johnny Depp's filmography. I
Very
can't
much so.
remotely deny that whatever's going on with Johnny right now, whatever will go on with Johnny, going forward, it kind of just is what it is, right?
Actually, I just looked ahead. It is booked for next year in June, because it'll be his 60th birthday.
That's right. We talked about that. That's right. Okay.
Johnny Depp turns 60 next June, believe it or not. That just makes me feel,
right?
It's like, I will be 47 next year, so Johnny Depp is 13 years older than me.
Well, there you go. And not far off on the month either. You figure that you're both summer babies. I will say this: when you do Johnny Depp, if you don't have it on the list, I request you do Crybaby.
It's on my list.
And I want to be on that show.
Okay.
Because of this right
here. It is definitely on my list.
One of the few.
It is actually the first one that I'm doing. It is
perfect.
June 1st.
June 1st. All right. Renegades Reviews special feature. There you go. Well, we're starting to get staticky on your end, my friend. So we got all your plugs deeply.
Yes.
Of course, can't go anywhere the rest of the month or the rest of the year until we get through tomorrow and the Odyssey that the Simple Man with Spectacular Voice will be on across multiple brands, across multiple federations, across legitimately space and time, because worlds will collide tomorrow and we will go all out in our presentation. But Noah, you give us the great closing every time we do a presentation with you, and now that you've had a chance to rest your voice after today because you've been t-shirt shopping as we've been going into our redonkulous movie spiels, my friend, send us into Sunday morning as only you can do, brother.
It's all the usual. I'm just trying to finish up this church PowerPoint too. So many PowerPoints, Excel sheets. But anyway, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, JJ. Thank you to the entire Jeff Meacham Network and Multiverse of Media. Appreciate all you too. But you want to know more about me? Know this: I am just a very tired now, simple man, and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. As Jeff alluded to, I'll be back right here at the Jeff Meacham Network to call both Worlds Collide and AEW All Out in full. And then I'll be back on the Daily Sun to recap and review AEW All Out. Go check out our preview predictions there. And as always, I like to conclude there are no winners, no losers, no betters. There are just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling too. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. For the Renegade J.D. Williams, our masterful moderator, even though he didn't do a damn bit of it tonight.
You know what? I was so unprepared for tonight anyway, so it's all good. If this is going to be our final official open mic night with you only popping in here and there where you can, it was only right to let you end the show and moderate it this evening.
And again, it's one of those. I'm definitely going to miss this on the regular when you guys do pay-per-views, and I'm having to try to find a way to watch from various corners of the house of mouse when the shows are on, because it's going to be weird not being at this desk. I'm not going to lie. But
I mean, at the end of the day, post pay-per-view, open mic started out as a post pay-per-view thing with you, Noah, and James. We were throwing out to Mikey if he wanted to come in and fill for James, but at the end of the day, I was filling in for James today. It's still the original trio. I'm here. You were running shit. Like Noah says, it's as simple as that.
I appreciate that. So again, please do not forget that these two gentlemen and James will be carrying on the super card presentations on the weekends. So come on back for, I guess the next one's Extreme Rules after this weekend, yeah?
October 8th. Saturday, October 8th.
As far as WWE goes, because, we get to breathe from AEW till November Full Gear, and then Impact Wrestling, they have Bound for Glory as the next pay-per-view, but the next premium thing is Victory Road. I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday, so I think we're good.
Pretty sure it's a Friday, which is why I said we're not going to.
Then we're good. Yep. But Bound for Glory is next for them, and that's also in October.
Bound for Glory is definitely going to be covered. Bound for Glory is one of their big shows. We're definitely going to have that be a thing.
Oh, yeah.
King Mike X, yes, Jeff has got a official job now, so he is going to be stepping away from pretty much all live streams.
Official life.
For the time being, if he can find a way to jump in here and there with his schedule, he will. But as far as full time, he is stepping away from pay-per-views. But do not fret. Noah, myself, James will continue to bring you guys the content that you have learned and come to expect from us. Open mic nights are going to still be a weekly thing. Pay-per-view PLE coverage are still going to be a thing. You know, at the end of the day, me, Noah, and James still enjoy getting together and, like Noah says, sharing our opinions and discussing professional wrestling.
Damn it.
Just because Jeff is not here to lead the charge doesn't mean that we're still not going to be here and Jeff won't be here in spirit.
Exactly. I will always be there in spirit, whether it's liquid spirit or otherwise. I will always be
Damn
there.
right.
And I will say this. If nothing else, I do have for sure a weekend off. April 1st and April 2nd. Now, I can't run the show.
No.
But I can call in live from SoFi Stadium.
That's right.
I will be here for that, one way or the other. So, as we get the awesome music send off from wherever the hell that came from, that was tremendous. He is the simple man with technical voice, Noah Foster. He is Renegade J.J. Williams. I am the most special Jeff Meacham. This has been Open Mic Night. We will see you tomorrow for the end of Noah Foster's voice as we know it. We will see you all next time.